This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
We are here at Waubonsie Valley High School with first-year head coach Kari Galen. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So first question I want to ask you was, you played at Bowling Green, and how do you think that playing at the next level has helped you maybe coach at the high school level and get your players maybe ready for the college level if they wanted to get there?
Yeah, so I think that playing at that level, we do in college a lot more scouting and just really a lot of strategy kind of thing. So playing in college and just knowing what we've looked for in players, looked for in opponents, and knowing what shots are open, what are some options we can do when we're in trouble. Those are things that really, for me, I learned a lot of that in college. So that's something that I can kind of bring to our girls. We talk about that before we play teams. We practice. If a team runs a middle a lot or runs some sort of funky hit, we're able to actually practice that and work on that before we play them.
Now you're the assistant last year for this team. What do you think your coaching style is? What do you think you bring differently to the table as the head coach, as opposed to any other coach in this? It could be in the state, just anywhere.
I think for the most part, I'm pretty calm when I coach. I don't like to get too emotional because a lot of times the girls will also get emotional. Kind of mirroring what I'm doing on the bench. So I do think that I'm pretty calm for the most part. Sometimes they need a little pick me up. Yeah. That happens sometimes, especially against against Mattia. They needed that a little bit. But really for the most part, pretty calm. I try to save most of the feedback that I'm giving them. We usually do that in practice, and it's really just more strategy based when we're in a game situation.
Now what's your favorite volleyball memory? Could be playing, coaching, anything you've ever had.
I guess that would have to be my senior year of college. We played Northern Illinois, and it was the MAC championship, and we ended up winning the first MAC championship in 20 years when I was there. So that was really exciting. And then we went to the NCAA tournament that year, and we beat Yale in the first round, and then we faced Penn State, who we lost to, but they were ranked first in the nation at that point. So I guess I can accept that as a loss, but that was really memorable for me.
What, as a first-year head coach here at Waubonsie, coming back after you played here, what are your expectations? Have they changed from the beginning of the year now towards the end of the year? What were your expectations coming in for the team as your first year? Well,
I knew we had a really solid team just because seeing them last year and knowing who was returning. We have a really, really strong junior class right now, so we had a strong set of sophomores last year and some really good seniors as well. So I just kind of expected them to take where we were last year and continue to build on that.
And talking to Anna, she said that the regional final you guys were in last year, she said going beyond that she would consider that a successful year. Would you kind of agree with that?
Yeah. We definitely have a tough regional to get out of. Our sectional really some of the best teams in the state are all crammed into one sectional. But yeah, that's really our goal, is to get past that regional.
Now you're getting towards the end of the year more right now. Is the approach at practice for games is any different than it is for the first couple games for you when you come in at practice or during game, or is it the same approach every single game? Or how do you
we try to do sort of the same kinds of things each day. Obviously, when we do a drill, we're not going to get perfect at that skill or that drill right away. So a lot of times it's just repetition. So, working on coverage play, working on serve receive, getting lots of reps. So it's really pretty consistent. I think from the beginning of the year, now that we've established the, team connection, that's really something that now we can focus specifically on what skills we need to get better, connection between, setter and hitter, working on strategy.
And I know the team does something with Shrek. It was, I think, a song before each game. Are you included in that?
That's like their team motto. So anytime that they want to get pumped up, they just say Shrek it. I don't know why, but that's their thing.
It's something with being green, I know that. Anna said something about being green.
I don't entirely know. I kind of leave that up to them. That's their thing.
Now, like you said, getting towards the end of the year, is it any different physically? Do you try to give them more of a rest towards the end of the year since it kind of is a long season, or is it the same type of physical toll you're taking, or is there more breaks?
So we did do quite a bit of lifting. We would try to at least squeeze in at least 1 or 2 lifts a week, but our schedule has gotten so busy lately, so it's hard to do that, and we don't like to lift before a game. So really most of what we do is just practice and strategy, and we don't practice a ton. We're not doing like the 3-hour practices that we'd be doing, during the summer before school starts. So I try to give them, let's work on these things. Once we get these things done, then we'll head out. So, and I've given them the past couple Saturdays off of practice just because we were playing like we had 3 weekends in a row. We had to work a tournament, and then we had 2 tournaments where we were playing, and that can be really tough, especially for them to try and balance school and volleyball.
What is about this team that you think you'll remember the most about the first team you had ever for being a head coach? Is there anything specifically? It doesn't have to be how they win or lost, just kind of as a personality as a team.
You know what? Actually, we did a team bonding trip at the beginning of the season, and we went to a high ropes course, and it was really fun. So I really got to see sort of a side of a lot of girls that I don't necessarily see in the gym, because it's just a different situation that we were in, and that was really exciting for me. That was really exciting to see how they kind of bonded and worked together.
Did you always see yourself coming back to coach here at Waubonsie after playing here? Did you see that kind of when you were maybe playing or when you were in college?
Well, I actually started in college as a sport management major, and then I ended up switching. And I remember making that decision on the bus ride home from a tournament at Pitt. I was sitting on the bus and I said, I don't want to do sport management anymore. I said, I think I want to teach. I like English. I'm going to teach English. And I thought, well, maybe I could go back to Waubonsie. That'd be cool. But I never thought that I'd actually end up being here, let alone coaching. So that's really kind of been a dream come true for me.
What's the most difficult part about being a head coach as opposed to assistant coach or playing? Is there stuff, because you can't control as much obviously when you're coaching as you're playing. What do you think the biggest difference is between being a head coach, assistant coach, playing? What do you think is the biggest difference?
There's just the little things, submitting tournament seating, rating refs, getting scores put in, all the little administrative things take a lot more time. Whereas, as an assistant, you're just there to help the head coach with anything they maybe can't get to. So for me, it's like everything goes through me. So if there's ever a problem, it's going to be, brought to my attention. So I think that's definitely just the time. It takes a lot more time when you factor in those things. Even emailing newspapers and stuff after matches takes time. But I think it's really rewarding, and it's kind of cool to be in that place.
How do you help your seniors or juniors who are looking at colleges to try to play at the next level?
Usually they come and talk to me. They'll say, I have this college coach, or this coach wants me to come on a visit. What should I do? What should I write in my email? So I kind of just help them along with just, even one of our players said, well, is this an email that I should send? Can you check it over before I send it? So just kind of giving them feedback and helping them along the way in terms of that.
Have you noticed any difference in Anna after her picking her school, kind of a relief, kind of weight off her shoulders?
She had been looking for a while. It was just kind of like a waiting game for her a little bit. She was just waiting on to see if everything would work out for her. So I don't think I've seen a change. She's really a pretty consistent player, and I knew that's what she wanted, so I knew that she would get to that point.
Now, it might be a little different with the seniors right now, but as you go on in your head coaching thing, do you think it'll kind of be a cool experience to see you coach somebody for 3-4 years and then playing at the next level and couldn't maybe as a Division I level like you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a lot of girls who have a lot of potential to get to that point. So a lot of talent coming up in our younger classes. So I think that's definitely something that could potentially happen in the future. What
would be the dream scenario for the playoff run? Anybody you want to see maybe in the playoffs that your team wants to see or you love seeing? I know they love playing Nequa, but anybody you guys would love to see in the playoffs, just team you like to play?
I don't think so. I think it's really just kind of for us, just playing hard against whoever we face, and they know that, and it's really for us, it's really a mental game. So we've been working on just mental strength and believing that we can beat whoever we face.
And last question for you, is there anything that you will do once playoff time comes around to make sure that they aren't as nervous, aren't as the seniors could be their last game at any time, anything to try to calm them down a little bit?
I don't think that when we play in a regional game or hopefully, a sectional game, I don't think that changing the way that we approach it is the best way to do it. I think treating it like any other game is the best way to go about it. Just this is any other game. We got to win this game. It's important for us for the season.
Well, best of luck, and hopefully we see you down the road past the regional final.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.